Right. Well, for this painting session, we're going to look at laying down color as a ground for another painting, for a complete painting, when that we can complete even another day if necessary. One of the problems in this country at this time of year is the picture doesn't dry quickly enough for us to continue with this particular one today. Right, so what I want you to do, maybe you better listen first. What I'm going to do is to make 3 or 4 mixes of what you might call autumn colors, oranges, reds, yellows, browns, maybe a bit of green if necessary. And of course, blue, because you get lovely skies in the autumn. And let's, for heaven's sake, make it a nice, cheerful sky instead of rain, rain, rain. Okay, so the first thing to do is to make your mixes. Because if you make your mixes while you're working, which is what I usually do, you don't make them fast enough, and then the paper dries, and then you've got to wet it again, and blah, blah, blah. So if we can do it so that all the colors are done and ready and waiting for you to pick up and put in. So this is going to be quite a bit of thinking, because I don't want you to just copy what I'm doing. I want you to think of your own collection of trees and sky that you want to put in, either in an abstract sort of way. You know, I just fancy having a bit of blue there. And just, you know, I just fancy a bit of blue there, and it looks nice with the orange or whatever that you fancy. So don't just do what I do. Think about what you would like to do. Okay, right. So we make the colors first, and what I've done is to wet a few of the pans in my box to give the paint surface a chance to, I was going to say melt, but you know what I mean, soften, so that when I make the mixes, I'll be able to make them fairly quickly. So I'm going to make, I'll just move that out of the way because I don't want to spoil it. Here we are. Okay, so I'm push it up a little bit higher so you can see. Right, so I'm going to make, I think I've wet the brush. This is a bit damp, so I'll just take some paper out of here. Now, this is a blue. Guess which blue? Ultramarine, yes. Ultramarine gives you a lovely color of sky. Now remember that it isn't the color in the depth that you get. It's the color where the amount of paint is thin. So it's not this part here, but this part here that you're seeing there. That's quite a good color. The other thing to do in using this technique is to make sure that your paint mixes are darker than you imagine you're going to need, for 2 reasons. One is you're going to have water on the paper anyway, and number 2 is watercolor dries lighter. So don't worry if it goes in a bit heavy. That's probably a good thing. So I've done a blue. I'm going to use 2 yellows. I'm getting really adventurous here. So I'm using, in this case, it's Aureolin. But if you've got lemon yellow, that will do. Fine. And again, look how dark that is, where it's collected as opposed to where it's lighter. Oops, don't use that, use water. All right, so I'm going to mix that out. Now I'm going to take some of the more golden yellow. That's a nice one, isn't it? That is Indian yellow. Lovely really golden yellow, isn't it? I'm going to take a little bit more water in there. Pardon? You might find, if you've got a really goldy yellow in your set, just use that. I'm giving you the names because some people like to have the names. If all you've got is a cadmium yellow, in this case, that will do fine as well. We haven't even started to look at opaque and transparent colors, so just use what you've got. Okay, so I rinse that out. Now, if I look at the reds, I think the one I want is that one. The one I'm using is Alizrin. Give me that color. That needs to be really put in. Alizrin's quite a dark color, so we need to. I'm wondering if that is Alizrin actually. Right. See how I'm twisting the brush in the palette to get my color. I've got a touch of orange. Now, if you haven't got an orange, you can make an orange. Need to work it, remember, to soften the gum. Gum Arabic. Yeah. What else would I like? Got 2 yellows, 2 reds, only 1 blue. I think I'll put a touch of purple in. Purple? Yes, that's a purple. Put a touch of purple in, just because I like it. And indeed, because I didn't clean my brush, that's turned slightly brown, which is nice. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, while you're busy doing that, I'll take you on to the next stage so that you'll be able to carry on. So will you kindly stop making your mixes at the moment and attend to teacher? Right. Now, clean, clean, clean water. Okay. And I'm going to put the water over the whole surface. So you better watch this because it'll be fairly fast. If I go too slow, the water will dry and then I'll have to re-wet it and life gets difficult doing it. So take it, watch what I'm doing. And then when you do it, don't panic. You don't have to work that quick, but you do have to work quickly enough for the paint's water that you put on not to dry. Okay, so and I'm using a flat brush and painting it over the whole surface of the paper. I'm making it fairly sloshy because I'm not intending to paint on this today after my initial wash. We're going to leave it and use it next week to create a finished picture. Now I can see that's fairly wet because it's nice and glossy. I think I've covered most of it. Right, now this is where you go into action. Okay, so don't be putting the water on now. Watch and see how we got on. Right, so I've got a clean brush. I had a clean brush. And I'm taking the water out of it, picking up, in this case, my blue paint. I'm going to tip the page up a little bit because I want it to run. I'm just going to put in the sky where I feel like I want the sky, just any old where. So now, it looks quite dark, but don't let it worry you. I'm thinking of tree shapes while I'm doing this. And I You don't need a lot of water when you do this. Can you see how it's blending downwards? Right, I clean the brush and dry the brush. That's quite important. And I'm picking up the different colors. I think I'll take a bit of this one here. It's going, and I'll clean the brush again, dry it. Galloping down there, isn't it lovely? Gorgeous. Clean the brush, dry it. It's not really strong enough. It doesn't matter if they run over each other, that's fine. I've now got 3 dirty pots of water. Now that's a lemon, but because it's near gone into the blue, it's changed. Oh, bless you. Put in a bit of this yellow here. Now the color I put over there, can you see how it's completely disappeared? Right. I'm very careful to dry my brush after each essay of paint. If you want to put a color into the color you've already put in, that's fine. That's not going to hurt either. I think I'll get some of this in down the bottom here. They've got something to run into. Well, even I didn't mix enough paint. Well, I mean, even I never mix enough paint. Thanks, dear. How did you manage that? You devious creature. Ah! Just dropping in color where I feel it could be usefully put. I think we could actually do with a bit more of a brown. It's that one, I think. I didn't make any of this, so, but it's so sloshy. It's wonderfully sloshy, so it's good. But I think we need to be a little less adventurous in places. Nice if I could realize which one I'm trying to dip in, wouldn't it? I think I need a little bit more. I'm just putting in color where I feel I would like to put it. While it's in this wet state, you can add, subtract. Now that's silly because I got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not good. Okay. What can I do about that? Well, I can take some of this and put that in there instead. Right. I think that will do. It's just a mess, right? Okay, which is great. That's what it's all about. What you're doing is floating the color into the water. What we're going to do now is put that on one side, let it dry, and bring it next week to turn it into a picture.